Hey guys, welcome back to Right Way. Today we are doing the drains. Once again, Justin, Right Way Repairs. We service the Beaufort and Jasper County in South Carolina. If you guys ever need any kind of repairs with your home, electric, plumbing, sheetrocking, painting, we've got foundation issues. We've got some great contractors that we like to subcontract to. If you guys have ever had any problems, let us know. Beaufort, Jasper counties, South Carolina. We're always here for any necessities that you may need with your home. Once again, today on this video, what we're going to be covering is the drain lines. We did the capacitors at the beginning of the week, and today I'm going to focus on drain lines. Drain lines are one of the biggest reasons why people have had issues with skylights into their attic that don't belong in their home. So guys, drain lines and filters are the two biggest reasons people have some issues with their AC, or shall I say their air handler, either in an attic or like mine that's in a closet. As you can see, mine goes down into the crawl space under my house. What will happen is this will back up. If there was no safety or float switch in the system, you're talking about water all over my floor. So we love always to get our drains cleared, filters changed, and coils washed. But today what we're going to focus on is drains. So without that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get at it. Let me go ahead and show you guys what I like to roll around with is this little bucket right here. When I go do a call, when I go inside to do my maintenance, I will take this bucket with me. Inside that bucket, I've got my coil cleaner, got my drain acid, I've got hot water. In these drain lines, when we're cooling throughout the summer season, we produce chemical called juest. I know it's a funny word, but it is a mixture of copper, dust, aluminum, hair, salt, buildup. It's a combination of all kinds of stuff left in a dark area in a cold box, and then it stays inside the drain pan where there's always water. What happens, that stuff gets backed up, gets caught in between the connection from the air handler to the main drain connection, and then when it doesn't get caught, it'll slide into this P-trap, which is very necessary to have in order to have proper flow of water. I don't know if you've ever heard a system running and you hear like a gurgling noise going on. It's because there's no air flowing. The P-trap is not there. It's a direct pipe in. That is one of the biggest causes and reasons why you'll see, I apologize, I have two forms of videos going on. School, I do apologize. I had you guys faced up the entire time when I was trying to show you guys this right here. This right here is your P-trap. You always need to have this here in order to prevent gurgling. Sometimes you'll see the drain directly piped in. That is incorrect. You always want to have a P-trap. That is one of the biggest things. Second of all, float switch. Float switches is very important. If there is ever a clog, you want to have a inline direct float switch that connects to the primary drain pan. That float switch, I do have one. It is right here. Let me go ahead and see. Well, unfortunately, I did glue mine, but I can take it off. Let me do that so it shows. So it's pretty much a little piece of equipment. It's got a float on the bottom. If I could get you guys a little closer, I will here in a second. Pretty much backs up into a little pan down here, right next to my inline. What happens is the water will push that float up, and that float will interrupt signal to my air handler, causing for the system to shut down, not allowing for it to produce any more water. Unfortunately, the water that is in the system will stay there and residually just slowly fall out onto either your ceiling, your floor, whatever it may be. So this is something that we always want to have in our systems. It's a very nice protective feature. If you don't have one, get an AC tech out there, take a look at it, make sure you guys do have one in line. Once again, awesome safety feature to have. Float switches, must have. If you have it in the attic and your system is horizontal, laying down, there are float switches that I do like because they go on the secondary drain pan as well. It'll help give you pretty much a second line of protection. So with that being said, let me go ahead and show you guys how we do this real quick. Once again, if you want to know where we get our stuff, what stuff we use, smash that subscribe button, hit that like button, follow me, get on my page, get on the school page. Absolutely free to join. On there you will find all of the stuff that I use. from my drain cleaners to the tools that I use, which last video you guys got a taste of that. You know I'm a big field piece lover and DeWalt. But in this industry we use many types of tools. So if you've ever had an idea, a tool that you need or you don't know how to fully operate, hit me up. Hey, if I don't know how to use it, we'll figure it out together. But if you do want to know where I get my stuff and what stuff I use, some of these things you may not be able to get because you are not a certified licensed technician, and you will have alternatives, such as for my drain acid, there are alternatives. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, get on my school page, and I will give you that information. If you're already a part of my school page, which I'm looking at you guys too, I will put that information down on the notes to this video after I'm done. That way I can go ahead and get you guys set up as well. What else? Well, without being any more of a procrastinator, once again, P-trap, we're going to take this cap off. Guys, please don't forget to put that cap back on. And I almost missed it again. Last video I said gloves. Gloves are very important, especially when you're using dissolvers, chemicals, anything that is not supposed to be making contact with your skin. Guys, please use gloves. Very important. You don't want to end up in the hospital because of a 3rd-degree burn that you were unaware of. So today I did bring my gloves. These gloves, I believe my wife found for me, or I found them at an AutoZone or Walmart. Not too sure. I don't remember. I've had them for a while already. But I love them. Mechanics gloves. They fit very well, fit tight. For people like me that we do intricate work and we're always dealing with screws, I like to feel things with my fingers. So they are a 7mm glove. Love them. Great to go. Mechanics gloves, you can find these at anywhere. I think, like I said, Walmart, AutoZone, Lowe's, they've got it there. So what I normally will do is once I get to my attic or my air handler, I'll empty out my stuff, get comfortable, because when you're maintaining the system, it does take a little bit. So once again, hot water, guys. Hot water is the best thing you want. Unfortunately, yes, I know we can't always get hot water, but if you can, please do. It makes it so much easier to do this job. So what I do is I empty out my bucket, and I end up using my bucket as a seating tool, as you can see. So let's continue going here. We take off drain cap. Please, guys, do not forget to put this back on. The system will suck air and the water back in, causing a flood on the inside of your system, not on the outside, and that is something we do not want or need. So I've done that. I've taken off the cap, and what I'll do is that I'll take a brush, just regular U-shaped brush you can find yourself, pretty common, Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart. It's one of the tools I like to talk about. So you're getting a sneak peek. Great tool, 99 cents. Use it. I'll brush out my P-trap. You see, and I got some pushback, so I know it was dirty. Yes, it's my house, and I haven't done the ACS system maintenance. Don't judge me. So I'll brush it out pretty good. I like to make sure it's done. I always buy, or I always carry more than 2 brushes with me, and the reason why is because I'll keep one of them in good condition. And what I mean by good condition is that I won't bend the brush. Then you can just shake it off if there is anything on it. You can shake it off on the side, under the system, side of the system. It'll dry up and go away anyways. It's nothing bad. This is what I mean by good condition. What I'll end up doing is I'll bend the head of one of my brushes to help it go through this right here. If there isn't a trap like there is one right here, what this helps me do, it helps me clean the connection from the air handler to my drain line. And that is very important because unfortunately things get caught, man, in places where we don't want them to get caught. And when that happens, it becomes a pain to try to clear it out. And if we can find a way to do it without having to take the whole drain line apart, then do it, you know? It doesn't hurt. And I have found, for the most part, this is the easiest way. I bend this little brush head a little bit, you know, and clears it up. I shove it right down there into the line, get it to bang where it'll go in towards the system. which has probably been very, very successful for me in cleaning a lot of clogs that, you know, it's just one of the pains. That way it avoids me having to take the panel off. I don't have to take everything apart. You know, it's just one of those things that you don't want to do on a 130-degree day in the middle of an attic, and you've already got a pissy homeowner because, hey, my AC system's not working because it's clogged. So, like I said, brush it out very good, very well. Once you get that done, it's brushed out. This is where I'll drop some of my acid in. Now, guys, this acid is not available to everybody, unfortunately. If you're a technician, yes, you can get it. You know where it's at. You know what it does, and you know what it can do to your skin. So please be very careful when you're using this. Use it as directed. I've had technicians not use it as directed, and when I go back to do whatever it may be and I get this on me, it does burn. It does hurt. So please have respect for your fellow technicians and your fellow brothers. We are all a band of brothers like no other. So that was pretty nice. I like that. A band of brothers like no others. Anyways, acid, awesome. This is what technicians carry on their vans. This is what technicians carry on their trucks, whatever they drive. I love this stuff. Great for unclogging drains. Use it as directed, please. Grab a little bit of this into the drain line. Put very little. Don't have to overflow it. Don't have to overpour it. You don't need to put the whole thing down. Put enough to where it'll sit in the P-trap, go down the drain line. Let it sit for a little bit while you're doing something else. You know, while you're washing the coil, while you're checking amp draw, while you're checking the motor. You know, let that sit. Let it do its job a little bit. Once again, guys, if you're liking the video so far, please, please, please hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that like button. Share my videos. It's educational. I'm trying to help homeowners and business owners take care of their homes without having to go too far into your pocket and allowing for other people to do this to you when you can do it yourself pretty quickly, man. Once again, you can use many other things, other you know, substitutes instead of my drain dissolver. But it that information you'll have to look for. Go to my my YouTube page, subscribe, get on there, become a fan. You'll get all my tricks, man, all my substitutes that people can use, all my wiring tricks and stuff like that. I've been in this business for 15 years, guys, so I know quite a bit. Let's get you guys taken care of. I like to let it sit for about a minute or two while you're doing other things, but unfortunately I don't have that much time on these videos, so I am going to go ahead and beat to it. I'm going to go ahead and get my hot water. I do like to walk around with the funnel and stuff. I put all this stuff in my little bucket, and it just makes life so much simpler and easier. Put my funnel in, get it supported somehow properly, make sure it's not going anywhere. And here comes the hot water time. This is where your hot water will play a very, very big part, because your hot water breaks up everything inside the drain line. It's PVC. The acid is doing its job. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to give it a little push with some of the hot water. And I'm going to let it sit again for a little bit, get that drain dissolver through the pipes, make sure that it's doing its job, and help out the system. Now, when you get done doing this, guys, please make sure you're checking your float switches when you're done. Water does back up when you overpour water, so we want to make sure that it is properly flowing, it is properly doing what it's supposed to be doing, and that we are getting the job done the correct way, and that we're not going to have to come back 45 or 30 minutes later to clear out the drains we just filled up. So what I'll do is I'll deactivate all my float switches, I'll pull them out, I'll flip them around, I'll do what I have to do to make sure that I'm doing my job correctly for the situation that I'm in, whether the system's horizontal, vertical, downflow, upflow, or if it's on a pump or whatever it may be. Condensate pumps is another topic for another day. I didn't need my light today, guys, but I always walk around with the light. Cobalt makes some nice lights. Cobalt, thank you. I love this small, handy-dandy magnetic light. If you can get any kind of flashlights that are magnetic, man, headlamps are great. I know that there's a lot of some new smart glasses, meta glasses that have recording devices and lights on them as well. Awesome to use. Light is always great to have in an attic and in an area where you're trying to do your job and there is no light. So, very, 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 very good to have in your tool bag. A small light, something that'll produce bright for you. Like I said, Cobalt has these at Lowe's. I think they're like $19.99 or $14.99. Awesome little tools to have. I love them. They make good lights, man. All right, so I've put that water down. I've let it flow. We're doing good right now. Drain line hasn't shut anything down. I don't see anything coming back. So now what I'm going to do is call an overpour. I'm going to flood the system as much as I can to see how fast that water goes down. And as you can see, it's going down pretty fast. It's already out of the funnel and down the drain. And now I want to hear the bloop, 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 from where the P-trap is supposed to be doing its job. And watch this. Good. All right, we're good. So, sometimes you get a little bit of water, carry a rag with you, carry a towel, clean up your mess, guys, please. I've done flushed it. I've gotten it taken care of. I don't have any water coming out of my secondary float. I'm good. I'm happy. I know that that's proper. I know that I'm flowing out. I'm looking down my drain. It's clear. It's clean. I love it. There's nothing in there coming back. There's no water overflowing. I've had my gloves on the entire time with no problems. That is how you check a drain. That is how you flush a drain. And now I need to make sure that I have water remain in the P-trap. And the reason why is because if you don't have water in the P-trap, you're not going to allow for air to flow properly. And what happens is a backup, and we don't want that. All right, so we've got both our caps on. Everything is sealed from here to the outside. I've got water back in the P-trap. That's called priming your P-trap. We always want to make sure that there's water in the trap. Always. That's without fail. I've got no water inside my secondary drain, my primary float switch. We're good there. So I'm going to put my float switch back and lock it up. And we're done. Drain line is flushed, drain line is cleared, everything is taken care of on that, and that prevents massive problems, guys. I've seen repairs after a drain line crash for almost 10 grand. Replacing the sheetrock in the ceiling, the painting, the whatever the float it goes for, and then you want to match paint. You don't want two different paints on your ceiling in your living room when you live in $1 million home, or even if you live in a $500,000, a $300,000, $200,000, it doesn't matter. The point is you don't want two different paints on your ceiling. Or lifting your floor up. For instance, like right here in my situation, I'd end up having to lift my floor up. It's just those are things we don't want. We try to prevent. So once again, guys, that's how you do your drain. Please hit that like, hit that subscribe. Come and join me for some more. We did a first one on the capacitors, which I'm going to get into a little bit better. These are my first couple of videos, and you're going to see progress. And we'll get into them a little bit more intricately. But this is probably one of the best ones I've done on drains right now. And if you guys do have any questions, remember, Right Way Repairs. We service Beaufort and the Jasper area counties down in South Carolina. If you guys ever have a problem, give us a call. We do electric, plumbing, heating, cooling. We do it all. We take care of it all, guys. Right Way Repairs, where the repairs get done the right way. Y'all have a phenomenal, phenomenal day and a great weekend, guys.